She feels torn between honoring her culture and adventuring into the unknown, but the thing is, she doesn't have to choose. Her parents have presented her with a false dichotomy, a distortion, a cognitive distortion, where she might genuinely believe that her options are mutually exclusive when in reality they can coexist. But for them to coexist, she needs to break free from believing her father's subjective reality is the actual truth, and therefore she needs to challenge his authority by practicing reality testing, meaning presenting to her father an alternative perspective to the way he sees the world. This is what Wade was trying to tell her, by the way, that her job is not to choose between being a good daughter or being true to herself. Her job is to redefine for herself what being a good daughter means on her own terms, by her own standards. Her father can accept it or not, but she needs to grow up and start making adult decisions from now on. Not act in accordance with her father's desires, but in accordance with her own. Uh-oh. Ah!
Let me go!
Oh no, just leave it! Okay. Great. Let your daughter risk her life, I guess, then, huh? So this is very interesting. This is a moment where we can see in action the self-father discrepancy in risk perception. This is when individuals perceive risk differently if applied to themselves versus when they apply it to others. Bernie's reaction to the flame is to immediately want to save it, but Bernie's reaction to Amber going to rescue the blue flame is an expression of his instinct, where his daughter's safety immediately trumps preserving the blue flame, you see. This is a powerful reminder of how our priorities and values might change when we see the people we care about in danger, and that can ironically create a lot of mental clarity. Also, very often parents might spend a good amount of time emphasizing the importance of certain traditions, values, and so on, without explicitly stating that these always come second to the well-being of the individuals. Parents might assume that the priority of well-being is understood, but children can very easily misinterpret this and prioritize the values at their own expenses. You as a parent need to be very attentive to that. And this, of course, reminds us of the importance of explicit communication within relationships of any kind. Girl, please! Please let it go! Oh my God! Oh. What's the plan? That's not a good plan. What's the plan?
Wait!
I cannot believe this, man. Green flags! Green flag! Where is the green flag guy?
You came back after everything I said!
Word!
Kidding? I missed all this?
All this destruction?
Hold the door!
No, do not say hold the door to me. After Game of Thrones, I cannot bear to hear that anymore. You got it? Okay, this is a good plan. Oh. Oh my God. Girl, please.
Amber, we have to go!
Yes, you do. Now.
Can't leave!
I'm sorry to say this, but the shop is done!
Yeah.
The flame is done!
No! This is my father's whole life! I'm not going anywhere!
Girl, who are you arguing with? This scene explains very well how powerful the pull of emotional and cultural ties is, and how sometimes they can lead individuals to harm themselves in an attempt to prioritize those ties. I think Amber is going through anticipatory guilt, where she feels that if she doesn't do everything she can to save the shop, she will feel responsible for her father's sorrow, which she sees as a failure on her part. You can see how harmful this type of mentality is, because it's quite literally putting her life at risk. Please understand, sacrificing oneself to save someone is noble. Sacrificing oneself to people please is really just sad.
Throw me that lantern!
Oh my God, How is she not dead? What do you mean, no, you're alive! And is there anything this man cannot do? Oh no, no. Amber, your boyfriend is boiling.
It's too hot in here.
I have to open that up!
No! The water will come in and you'll be snuffed out.
But you're evaporating! I don't know what to do!
Oh
It's
God.
okay.
No, it's not okay!
No.
Amber,
No.
I have no regrets. You gave me something people search for their whole lives.
That I can exist in a world without you. I'm sorry I didn't say it before.
Girl.
I love you, Wade.
What I love about Wade throughout the scene is that he's never angry at her. Where others might be taken over by feelings of fear, anger, or blame, he instead spends what could be his potential last moments alive to express his gratitude and love for Ember. That's emotional maturity, but also unconditional love, which is why Ember feels compelled to apologize for rejecting his feelings earlier, even if she feels the same for him. Oh God, this movie is playing with my emotions for real, for real.
Wade is gone.
Girl.
I needed to tell you the truth.
Yes.
I don't want to run the shop. I know that was your dream, but it's not mine.
Wow.
Sorry.
This is something I see so often. If you're not going to take the actions to grow, growth often will come as the result of challenging situations. It's a reminder that we all change, either consciously or unconsciously. This is called post-traumatic growth, the process where people become stronger and more authentic after experiencing loss or trauma. In fact, she's able to tell the truth only after Wade made the ultimate sacrifice. When one person's selfless act inspires the other to make a crucial change or decision in their life is called transformational sacrifice, and this is what Ember is going through right now. It's as if Wade's actions helped her realize that life is too precious to live inauthentically, and exactly as she taught him, you don't have forever to say what you want to say. Yes, let that flame down!
The shop was never the dream. You were the dream. You were always the dream.
I really want to hug my dad now. Now that Bernie sees the lengths Ember is willing to go to save his dream, he finally is able to put down the flame and all it represents and focus on his daughter and speak to her from the heart. As I said before, I think that there was never an explicit communication that Ember is more important than the shop. It's something obvious for the parent, but not for the child. This can be seen as a moment of emotional release and reconciliation between the two when they can finally get to know each other better. Bernie gets to know who his daughter is as an adult, and Ember gets to know his father beyond the image of a rigid parent, to find he's actually a very loving father that is able to understand her daughter desires different things from him. And this is the thing, if you never give people the chance to surprise you, they never will. Oh God, this is killing me.
Just say something to make Mother not cry, okay?
I want to explore the world with you, Wade Ripple.
There he is. What I love most about this scene is that Wade was able to come back to life as a direct reaction to Ember opening up to her family and coming together with them. This moment ties together the theme of love, honesty, and family in a way that shows how transformative they can be when combined. Wade's return isn't just a physical one, it's a symbol of the rejuvenation that occurs when people are finally able to let go of their fears and fully embrace both themselves and their loved ones. It reinforces the idea that truth and love, when openly shared, have the power to overcome any obstacle, even loss.
Internship is so far away.
Girl.
I mean, it's the best glass design company in the world, but who knows if it'll become a real job?
Ember,
I'll be
please
back in a few
stop.
months anyway.
Please
Why
stop
not?
diminishing your accomplishments.
Go. Start
Thank you,
life.
Bernie.
Your
Thank
mother
you.
and I will be here.
Right.
Now with more time for hanky-panky.
Shush.
They're adults, they'll be fine. Oh my God. And this is the moment where the generational trauma has been broken. When the new generation is able to honor the old for its wisdom and love, and the old generation is able to honor the new for its enthusiasm and innovation. Because only with the blessing of the old, the new can prosper, and only with the blessing of the new, the old can survive. Neither is better than the other, both need to earn each other's respect.